feels funny, right? Like I don't like emergency meetings much because I'm such a structure. I hate surprises. I don't even like surprises, dude. All right, come in a room. Okay, great. Yeah, we're gonna go to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Okay, I'm from DC. I took US history. My Caribbean massive didn't get educated in the US per se, so they don't know what's happening right now. And I'm like, Winston-Salem, where they burned the witches? Are you serious, Andrea? Like literally. So nobody else, because they're not American, they're not born here, so they don't know all the geography yet. So I'm over here tripping. We're going to Winston-Salem. Nobody else gets it, and I just had a baby, right? I could have been that partner. I could have said, no, to hell, we not. That's not what we are doing. I don't care what Andrea said. That's not what we are doing. You're not gonna leave me with this little baby at home for me to do all this while you're rendezvousing in North Carolina. Are you serious? I could have been that partner, but I relented. I don't know if you want me to hit got it. Sorry. So I relented. We went to Winston-Salem. That is a 17-hour bus ride from South Florida. So remember the bus before I had to buy? Now I'm buying buses every 8th week. Really uncomfortable. But you know what happened? Our team exploded, guys. That decision to go to Winston-Salem is what took us from 100,000 to 600,000 in a year. Okay, going from 10 grand a month to as high as $72,000 a month, not even including the stock. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what Andy Onstead made. That's real dollars, and he's going to show you and talk to you all about all that kind of stuff. But for you yourself to go from that kind of money to that, like oh my God, it was ridiculous. So I'm going to give you the timeline, then I'm going to give it to Olivier. So 2017, we started to Get Big or Go Home. I had a 6-month-old baby. We started paying for buses. We started both getting on the buses, okay? Then we went, our first RVP came out just the next school. So imagine you go on July 28th and then you go to TBLS. When's the next TBLS, let's say?
This month, the 28th.
Okay, so right. So what they see in the end of July makes it that in October, they get promoted. That's exactly what happened to our first RVP, James Palat. Then his replacement, basically, I don't know, 6-9 months later, went regional vice president. That's Maurice Marsh. Now we're at 2 vice presidents. Erin was at June of 2008. Then we had a young lady, right? All these strong women over here. I'm feeling it right here. These two, right? They said, them men, they're not going to be the only ones to go regional vice president. The brothers are cute, but look at us, right? So we had a woman, our first female go regional vice president in January 2019. And that sparked us to go SVP. I call her our SVP maker, right? Your third RVP is your SVP maker, right? Took us a few months to piece together 50 grand a month. Your uplines will share all that with you. But then in April, for my birthday, we went SVP. Then 2 months later, we put the second diamond on, okay? That elusive second diamond. It's so hard to go from 1 to 2. Nobody talks about that. And to go from 2 to 3, like that, go from 0 to 300,000, it's like a rocket ship worth of energy to get off. But once it does, man, like right now, there's nothing we can do to take our income below 40 grand in a month. It's crazy. It's actually stupid. Oh no, I lost my timeline. Okay, good, Brendan, because I forgot already. Or actually, I could tell you, I could ask you and you can pull it up. Yeah. Oh, stop it. You're too organized. Oh my God. Okay. So April 2009, we go SVP, do the 50,000. Oh, thank you. All right. Bam. Okay, then we promoted our 4th RVP. I call her our catalyst, right? She changed the whole game. She went in December of 2020, another female. I'm just saying the female leadership in my organization is a phenomenal time. So then she went RVP in December of 2020. And then in January of 2021, we finally made it over the hump and got the 3rd diamond. That is ownership, right? We're going to the senior leadership meeting. It's so cool. Next, 3 months later, we got our 4th diamond in April of 2021. That was really cool. Keep clicking, Brendan. Let me see. 3 months later, we did the double. Oh, it's hilarious, Jay. Listen, we're at a school, right? We're chilling, we're from the stage like we're supposed to, right? And then our upline is like, hey, Olivier and Jahmena, come on stage. We're like, okay. And now I'm not around as much, so I assume he knows why we're on stage. I'm just smiling. I'm Vanna White for all intents and purposes. You know what I'm saying? And then, oh, look at the podium. I look at the podium. I see RVP promotion. I'm like, oh, okay. all right, we gotta get the fish out back. Like, you know, that's where your head goes when you promote RVP, like, we gotta get it back, da, da, da. Then it's two, it's two. We're running two at one time and you didn't tell us? Okay. So that day, July of 2021, I found out from the podium. You want to talk about a poker face? You want to talk about an Oscar award winner? It's like, I'm so happy for you, but I'm so scared. Oh my God, it's gonna happen to my bishop, friend. So yeah, they promoted out in July of 2021. 2 different couples, right? We got our 5th diamond 2 years later. I tell you, that was just fate. Like, imagine what could have happened. You're the promoting RVP, your upline's like, let's go right now, RVP. And you're like, excuse me, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't want to check me, or, you know, but that happened. And then literally right after we got our 5th diamond. So, okay, keep clicking. Then we went NSD in August of 2021. NSD was our shortest position. Of all the positions in Primerica we've been at, we were at NSD, the very shortest, okay? So we went in August NSD. In January of 2021, or that's supposed to be November of 2021, we did another double. We promoted 2 sisters out at the very same time, more female leadership. They have husbands too, but really they hold it down. So we promoted out two more. So twice in our career, we promoted 2 RVPs at one time, okay? And still somehow have a base shop. I don't know, it's just getting exciting, right? So that was in November. Then our number 9, our SNSD maker was April of 2022. That was Max. And then the next month we went SNSD. May of 2022, we went SNSD. We've now been SNSD a year now. I've learned so much in the last year. I tell you what, I could write a book now. We have 2 grandbabies. So we promoted 2 seconds, bought our dream home. Keep clicking. Now it's to the fun stuff. I don't have to stand so close anymore. I don't need to read it. So you guys know I'm from DC. He's from Haiti. We've been able to go to Haiti many times. We send money. We do great things there. You know, his parents still live in Haiti. You know, they come to the US every really 6 weeks to come see us, you know, but his parents still live out there. So it's exciting to be able to, you know, bring something home. And, you know, I can't exactly relate because home is America for me, but like, I couldn't imagine, you know, your parents did what they had to do to bring you to the land of opportunity. And then you become successful and you get to bring home mommy here. It's for you, auntie here, cousin here, because it wasn't just your mom and dad that sent you to America. It was half your family that sent you to America.
Right.
So for you to be able to go back to your country, maybe it's not Haiti, maybe it's Colombia, maybe it's Cuba, I don't know. But to go back to your country with money in hand, guys, listen, priceless, absolutely priceless. Keep looking. Jamaica, booked another trip just the other day. Hey, Google Flights and I should stop our relationship, Brent, because when you send me an email at 1 a.m. that the flight to Montego Bay dropped to 300, like this, bought it immediately, but that's typically how I buy flights immediately. But Jamaica, that's one of our favorite places to go. Las Vegas, we've taken the team there. I even saw Emily and Abel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw them out there while I was in Vegas. Literally randomly, I'm walking through the hotel and she's like, oh my God. I'm like, I know you, but I know you. And we invited them up to our hotel room. They saw that bathroom, you know, they were there hanging with us one night. We just do stupid stuff and we act stupid too. Keep going. We love Las Vegas. Hawaii, yes, right?
Here we go.
You just started competing in June for Hawaii. I hope you had a great June. I know some of you did, but if you continue and pay the price, you could be there with us. I'm telling you, it's the summer months people take off. Summer months people are in Disneyland, they're in California. Now obviously, you know, Edward's doing his thizzle from California, but most people aren't going to maintain Edward type numbers while being on vacation. You could beat them. This is your shot, you know, and you could be in Hawaii. Oh, this one. Oh, Jackie. We're the same age, right? 20 year, just passed, right? So we started a Facebook group, all this about our 20-year high school reunion. They wanted to do it at a Holiday Inn in Springfield, Virginia. You don't know Springfield, but you know Holiday Inn. I stepped in, I was like, there's no absolute way. And couldn't even put together the $500 deposit for the Holiday Inn in Springfield, Virginia. I was like, I slide. I have a relationship with Hilton, like I'll make something happen. I put my card my platinum card. I set up the Eventbrite. I sold tickets. Okay. I fronted for this whole thing. Now, mind you, I was sweating because I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to tell Olivier if this doesn't work and they don't buy the tickets, and then I'm on the hook for like $5,000-$6,000. That would have actually sucked, but it didn't. They came through. We had the best high school reunion ever. Really classy hotel right across the bridge from DC. Time of our life. It was my Mike Jones moment. I'm sorry to go this ratchet this quickly. But Tony, back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all want me. You don't understand. I was a dork in high school, guys. Everybody wanted to cheat off me. They wanted to cheat off my every paper, every spin, everything they wanted to cheat off me. That's the only time the football team gave me any shine. Do you have last week's test? I'm like, okay. Hey, Jay, I was thirsty. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like, I think back and I was like, oh, it makes my stomach hurt, right? Oh, so let me go with the progress. You guys, get me on stage. Olivier is gonna kill me. No, I'm playing you well. Maybe we'll have beers later. But I want to end with this, which is progress. Guys, I've never lived in a house in my life. Let me say that again. I've never lived in a single family house before. It took me 36 years to get to a point where I lived in a single family house, where I didn't touch a wall and somebody's hand was on the other side of the wall, if you know what I mean, right? You townhouse, are you townhoused out? I was townhoused out, okay? So we didn't even start a townhouse, started an apartment. That apartment right there, the one in the middle, right? Oh, this one, yeah, this one. Where we used to have to walk to the end of the hall to put our laundry, and like you'd have your basket on your hip and it would cut into your hip, and like you would have marks the next day. What happened? No, I just did laundry. You know what I mean? Where the biggest luxury was the fact there was an elevator. At least it wasn't a walk up. I used to have to do a walk up, you know? So that's where we were. We had a little pool that we shared with all 89 grandma and grandpas who also lived in my community, right? Then to the left, we got in a bigger condo, right? It was massive, it was stately. I had a washer, my first washer. Serious, 35, my first washer. I was fired up, you know what I mean? And that was cool. And they introduced me to grilling. There was a grill downstairs. So instead of my laundry basket, I would take all my Pyrexes downstairs with all of my like tools, and I would take it to the grill. I'd grill my steak. I'd have to sit there on the lawn chair and wait, but still, we had steak. Love steak, right? And then over to the right is my first house. So yeah, I think I was about 35, 36 by the time we moved here. First time I had ever had a single family house, guys. And that was a rental, and that was cool. And it was like, it was new. I had lawn, I had grass I had to figure out. Like, this is all new to me. But click, once we started making 6 times more money, we bought our dream home, you guys. Listen, I wish I was 25, married with kids and a homeowner. Didn't happen that way for me. More like 40, married with kids and a homeowner. But we got our first home ever. Those are my babies. That's me and Olivia, and that's our house. Wow. Yeah. Driveway. So you come in, it's a long driveway, bushes, right? And I have sable palms, several hundred of them lining our property, so nobody can see into my yard. I'm very serious about that. That's awesome. You can swim naked in my house. Like, we ain't worried about tan lines or more jackets. Like, it's the edge. Melinda, please. You know how me and you get down, okay? Hey, Brian's cool. Brian's cool, but Melinda's hella cool. Right? But I want to finish with this out. Right, especially after a few drinks with you. So look at this picture, okay? You guys, that picture above was in February of 2012. I used to force the guys to go on dream trips. Now we couldn't go far, so we just went to open houses. So I would look online, look on Zillow, and I'd look for not just any open house. I don't want to go into a 750,000. I know maybe 750 will buy an estate in Tampa. I don't know the market in Tampa. the $750,000 in South Florida will buy you what my last house was, that little small house, right? So we started going to $1 million tours. Anytime I found one, I'm talking 1 to 5 million, like we ain't playing, we want to go rich. And that picture on top, I took in one of those houses in an office. I was like, yo, this desk is badass. I said, and just got an iPhone. I was like, all right, sit down, take my picture. Now we had just left the beach. That's why I have a bathing suit on, but I was like, get it, right? The picture below is my office in my house. You want to talk about manifestation?
Yeah.
I couldn't have painted it that good, that I would have an office just like that with the wood, same kind of desk, like it's stupid. But that's what the good Lord gave me, because I stayed the course, because we put in the work. Like, it's just stupid. It's amazing. So anytime you guys are in South Florida, hit me up. I think that's it. We're gonna stop there. I've given y'all enough shine, okay? You know what you're supposed to do. Y'all just need to do it. But before I say anything that might embarrass my husband, can I bring him up, or do you want to do something else in between? Oh, I get to intro him. Listen, guys. We are regular, degular people, okay? We get our feelings hurt, we get pissed off, we have the same emotion, right? But we just choose to not lean into them. Because I could take any example, any opportunity to be like, oh, my upline sucks. And then I could go somewhere with that and go far with that. Can go far from where I know I was put here and I could do. And I want to tell you that I call him Buddha sometime, because it's not always easy to go, when they go low, you go high. I'm trying to be Michelle, but shit, man, it's hard. But he, however, really does embody that. He's a true leader, very serious about his people, and very serious about what he came here to do, guys. So though we fuss and fight all the time, okay, we want the same thing. And that's why we've been such a powerful and productive partnership since. So you guys, if you would help me, stand up. Give it up for my baby daddy. Let's go. My bestie, my SNSD, and my stud. Oh, you want to come in the middle? You want to stud muffin down the middle? No, you want to stud muffin down the middle? It's like, no, you might trip on the keg. You might trip on Jackie's keg. But you guys, help me welcome my senior national sales director, my best friend, Olivier.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Teresa later. Bye.
How's about doing good? Yeah. That was good? What's up? Well, hey, again, we're Jahmena said it. We're happy to be here. I mean, you guys have to understand, like Jackie said, I'm not gonna cry yet. We met at MIT, literally. Just came RVP, so I was April 2014. I'm not usually good at history, but finally I had to think about it, because we're always asking, where did we meet? It's so weird. But to think about, literally, none of us had the ring when we met. Right, we had just became RVPs, and then literally to see the path, and now I'm watching the board like 94,000 in income. Hearing Jahmena talking about us as 50, 60, literally 10 grand was a big deal. Now it's a frustration. You know what I mean? Like whatever, think about this, right? Whatever you look up to today, tomorrow will become your frustration. Wow. You're like, man, if only I could. But tomorrow you're gonna like, I only did. Wow. Does that make sense? So in Primerica, you got to work on your heart, but at the same time, keep firing up your ambition. Does that make sense? Because sometimes the competition might turn you into like becoming a little bitter, blah, blah, blah. It's not bitter, it's just that you're competitive, that now you can start getting it, like in over yourself, if that makes sense, But again, this group here, I mean, this family business, I don't want to go too long on this, and you guys are in it, so to you, it's it. But you have to think about it. Again, for me to find out about Ed's brother, who's now made it big time, super successful across the state, Like, can you imagine two brothers just meeting a company? One gets in it, gets a big business. The other one does what the company preaches, gets their finances right, and they're both living a millionaire life. Like, think about that. And then within that, they have kids, and their kids are blowing up. And then now they're like practicing the same thing. Two brothers, two sisters. Like somebody needs, like with this third child, Brian, I don't know if you guys are like trying to like throw a little mess up in the plan, right? Or improve it, right? But I mean, it's literally, you could come here, not just win for you, you could literally change your whole legacy. Literally, you can change everything. Like I remember I was sitting down thinking about between our business, what we own, insurance or investments, literally, God forbid, we pass away, you leave on well over 5 mil, close to 10 mil to your family before 40 years old. I have friends that tell me, Olivier, to win here, you have to be patient. And I tell them, patient, I mean, you have to get it. I'm 36 years old. Between cash and stock, Primerica paid us right under 3 mil. If you work 50 years of your life and make an average of 50,000 a year, that's $2.5 million in 50 years. We're 36, and this is paying us a month. What would have been making a year if we had a good job. But that also would mean 50,000 a year would mean 70, 80 hours a week for the rest of your life. You have to understand. So who's patient? Right? Is it the person that is waiting for one day to get there at 60, 70 years old and hope for a pension that this company doesn't switch it? Or is it the person that's coming in there the first 3-5 years, you can come in and make that type of money? That's Primerica, you know, so don't ever forget what you got. Don't ever forget the environment that you are, that you can now start taking it for granted. Like Bill Arender talks about, you start having a perfunctory attitude, just like, yeah, oh, they only made 50, not 100. They only, like, because now I was telling Eric, Willie and Lorena and Arando have 400,000 in income right now. 400,000 in a 30-day period. Does that make sense? Like, it's easy to start like, oh man, but at the same time, change your family's life. Does that make sense? So to tell you, like you guys heard, Jahmena got started in 2005, right? Got started in 2008. So my parents, my mom and I, my dad and my mom talked about having our sister and I have a better future. So we left Haiti in 2004. Things were pretty hot down there. So we left, went to high school in West Palm Beach. Then 1 year, then went to college at Mercer University in Georgia, played soccer. And then I blew my ACL after that. ACL, meniscus, bruised femur, done. At that point, I knew there was no longer going to be any soccer. But what scared me was the amount of times I walked out of school. I don't know anybody who went to college, and then you walked out of class so many times saying, I didn't get anything they said today. And what scared me was like, that's gonna be the next 40 years of my life. There's no, it's like walking the insurance class, walking out saying, I didn't get anything they said, but I'm ready for the test. There's no way, right? So the amount of times I walk out of class feeling that way, it scared me, you know? So when it was no longer gonna be soccer, I was like, oh shoot, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know anybody that's excited when they get, so at their job, when people get told you're off, they're fired up. But when soccer practice got canceled, I'm pissed. Right? So that's how I felt about what I did. I didn't celebrate a day off, right? Some people celebrate their day off. That tells you you're in the wrong field, right? 5 days of work, 2 days of rest is frustrating because people don't like what they do. They wish they could rest 5 days and work too.
Right.
But when you love what you do, they have to take you off on the day you shouldn't work, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, so that was scary. That's me. But I'm just saying, I was just scared to death of doing that type of stuff. I didn't know anybody that was excited going to work or excited coming from work. Everybody, Olivier, you know how it is. No, you just don't like what you do. I mean, I get it. You know, it's Saturday morning, look at you, excited with a notebook. Not only you woke up on Saturday morning, you have a notebook. It's because you want to do better. But your job, they couldn't have you pull up a smile, you know? So scared to death. And then my dad gave me a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, I hated reading, right? Now, I know hate is a strong word. I really hated reading. Is that strong enough? Right? My idea of studying was reading the summary at the end, like Pick Notes. Spark Notes. Pick Monkey. What's the other one? There was 3 of them. Pick Monkey. Cliff Notes, right? That's how I studied. And then mad at the teacher that I didn't get an A, right? So my dad gives me the book, but my dad's a men's man. Your dad doesn't give you something and not have something to say. Kind of like Ed, I could tell. You know, it's like, I'm not asking you, okay? Eat, right? I didn't say if you're hungry, eat. So I'm reading the book and in the introduction. Now, I'm from Haiti. Does school prepare children for the real world? I immediately closed it. What kind of idiot writes a book like that? Does school? Of course it does. In Haiti, you have to understand 90% of the country can't read. Wow. Right? So what do you mean does it? We're like, oh, you what? And when I closed it, it said New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and Business Week bestseller. At that point, it's either I'm wrong or they are wrong. And I didn't know I had an advantage over most people at that point. And the advantage was before Primerica. And I didn't know. Maybe it was not playing sports, but I didn't know. And the advantage was I knew nothing. That was I didn't know it was an advantage, but it's just that because if I didn't have that in me at that moment, I wouldn't have read the book. Because I'm in college and the book is saying that. What do you mean? My parents paid $32,000, $34,000 so far, and you tell me the school prepare. Like, that's a lot of money. And I read the book, and literally this lady is a CPA, Sharon Ledger. I'm going to school for accounting. She's a CPA. So she is what I'm going to school to become. And she's telling me what I'm doing doesn't matter. Wow. You have to, and then my dad, who's paying for the school, gave me the book. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, I went to school and they didn't give me what I thought. Shocked me. A year later, I come to Primerica. Literally, at the interview, they're telling me exactly what I heard in that book. What the wealthy teach their kids and the poor and the middle class teach their kids. Which one's right? Which one's wrong? Neither. The question is, what's your destination? Right? Getting out of here is north right or south right. Depends on where you're going. If you're going to Miami, south is right. If you're going to Orlando, north, I don't know where Orlando is, the Tampa, but you guys get my point. Jacksonville, right? North is right, okay? So the problem is most people are going a direction, and it's not like an opinion, like we're telling you what to do. No, it's not about we're telling you what to do. It's where do you want to go, right? For instance, I want to go to Hawaii. I don't care how much you like your car, get out of it, get in a plane. But I like trains. They don't get there either. But they go faster. It doesn't matter. Right? I don't care how good of a job you got. They are always looking for someone somewhere that can do your job for less. The day they find them, they're a bad leader if they don't cut you. Just like you. If you find a better service at your house, you are a bad financial person if you don't cut the cost and then save the money. That's what an employee is. An employee is no different than a cell phone, right? A cell phone, the best cell phone service is Verizon. How many people in the room have Verizon? See, I don't have Verizon. So very few people have Verizon. So we know it's the best. Why don't we have Verizon? Too expensive. Although it's better. Although the employee is PhD, too expensive. I'd rather pay this person and save the money. I'm not telling you that it's right. It's just we're saving money. That's all it is. Computers can do the accountant's job. Why would I have a person do the job that Excel can do and I can save the money? Why would you do that? Why would you pay somebody to get up and go turn the TV channel when you have a remote control? It's cheaper. You get my point? So those things made me realize, all right, cool. I need to get out of my head about this whole thing about a job. This is not how it's going to work. I got to learn how this works. And then so Primerica, because I read the book prior and my dad gave it to me, it prepared me to then understand that I was in a business where I can choose to help clients. I can choose to be a great person in whatever products that we do. Because Primerica, we do a lot of things for the community. We do life, all the home insurance, investments, retirement accounts, college savings, prepaid legal, right? We do a whole lot of some mortgages, right? Medicaid, all sorts of stuff, mortgages, I probably said already. But the idea is this. You can be a Walmart that can distribute all these things at the same time, right? Walmart literally is arguably the worst retail company when it comes to customer service. McDonald's is definitely the worst restaurant, right, ladies? A date tonight, McDonald's, right? What the heck, you tripping? But, right? but they make the most money in the world. Yeah. I looked at you and it didn't work. So I'm saying, I'm just saying, I was trying to see if you could save some money. It didn't work. It didn't work. You know, you're gonna have to drop them dollars. You know what I mean? But yeah, McDonald's is the why? Distribution. That's all they got. It doesn't matter what people sell. McDonald's beats them at it. It doesn't matter. Why? Because they have distribution set up. And that's what you were saying, right? Is that it's not, if I have more people, it doesn't matter. Like I could be like right now, the smallest person in the room, Jackie, right? So if there was a fight right now, and then you're fighting big whoever, if Jackie brings 100 people, there's no wondering who's winning. She might just throw in one stump, you know, but then that's probably what she would do, right? But at the end of the day, it's more is better. So we're gonna run through this about how it's a numbers game, because I don't care how bad you are. What you lack in skill, you can make up for in numbers. But the thing is, because, listen to me, if you're bad and you finally don't feel bad that you're bad, raise your hand. Oh, I'm good, okay. So let me tell you guys, that's what I mean by you're bad. Every one of us in this room sucks at something we may not be aware of yet. So you know what will expose your how bad you are is the numbers. Why? Because once you do that thing many times, you realize, oh, it's not an accident. I'm really bad at that. But once you get more numbers, for instance, if I'm practicing my jump shot, like Steph Curry, if he's practicing his jump shot, Steph Curry finds out more, a lot faster. He finds out how bad he is than the person that takes a three-pointer every quarter or so. Because he shoots more, so now you can watch film and improve it. So the way you get better is by doing large numbers. Because how many times are you gonna do 100 recruits and realize you're not growing districts? How many times are you gonna do, does that make sense? But if I'm doing 5 recruits a month, it's gonna take me years to find out I'm bad at getting districts. Does that make sense? But if I do it faster, I can get better faster. So that's the idea about the numbers game. It's always gonna accelerate the process, period. Okay, so next. So the idea is, oh yeah, we're good, I got you. Thanks. After I told them, right? That's up to me. So we need, right, $10,000 legs. Because every time you're recruiting, you wanna have an end in mind. You're not just recruiting to recruit in your mind, right? So meaning I'm recruiting to get what done with them. Does that make sense? So $10,000. Why is it so important? If you have one, you're pretty much an RVP. It's probably your replacement. Let's say your district, you're below RVP. If you have one $10,000 leg, you're an RVP. It's probably your replacement. You're going with the rest, right? If you have 2 of them, you're at 100 grand. Now, so if you already gave up your replacement, you're an RVP, and you build one, you're gonna be at 100 grand. That's a fact. If you have 3, meaning after replacement and all, right, you're in the top 50. If you have 4, you're pretty much gonna be a legend in the company. Okay, so is it important to have $10,000 leg? You get the idea. Okay, so listen to the deal. A $10,000 leg is 25 plus people on Saturday. Saturday, why? Because up now usually all the fans come out. You guys are the real players, right? You gave up SpongeBob. It's a big sacrifice Saturday morning, right? And I'm saying that we gotta have sympathy for those that can wake up. Does that make sense? But you're here, okay? So give yourself a round of applause, all right? So 25 in attendance, 8 to 12 licenses at least, not maximum, at least, okay? So these are minimum, not like, oh, I did it, where is it? Does that make sense? 8 to 12 are 4 licenses deep, 3 to 4 producers, and 1 to 2 trainers, meaning it would look something like this, right? So you see here, you see all the different ones. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You get the idea. 8 to 12, but 4 licenses is deep. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Does that make sense? Yep. So 4 licenses deep. 3 to 4 producers. 3 to 4 people that can pick up at least 1 app a month. It might not be the same person, but at least one person that can do 3 to 4. 3 to 4 people that can pick up at least 1 app a month. Okay, and then 2 to 3 trainers, people that can produce reproductive districts. Meaning I can promote a district that has somebody coming from Haiti, somebody in Chicago, somebody in California. But the question is, are they really districts, or did I get grandma, cousin? And you get my point, right? So ultimately, you want to have people that can really produce districts. So as now you know you have reproductive units, if that makes sense, right? So 2 to 3 trainers. So this is the deal, right? The most important activities you should be doing in the business. Number one, I would say orientation with a new person. Because the whole goal is recruiting people and then getting their market and blow them up, right? They say you're either getting 5 directs wide, 10 down a new leg, or you're in delusionment zone. You're in la la land. Let me repeat that. You're either getting 5 directs wide, 10 down a new group that you're building, or you're delusional. Why? See, if right now I'm saying, oh, I'm working with somebody. How many recruits I got last month? 3. You're not working with them. Because it's not enough data to compute. You're going to think you're bad. They're going to think you're bad. We're both lying to each other. So if I don't have somebody I'm getting over 10 under, then I got to go get a new player that wants to play ball with me. Does that make sense? Because you're not bad, they're not bad. They may not have a market, but you just need people that want to play ball. 5 wide, 10 down a new leg, or you're delusional. If you're 10 down a new leg, let's blow it up. Does that make sense? So that's the idea. So you're always getting in front of people. So if I recruit a new person and I'm in their market, let's go. We're building a 10K leg under them, orientation with a new person, right? Second most important activity is KTM with the training, right? I'm field training, I'm getting their promotion, etc. Or I'm doing interviews with the training. But if I don't have any of that, I still got to stand in the business until I build a business. So now I'm in a personal appointment because I'm looking to find people, right? Personal interview because I'm looking to wake people up. Number 6, Panera Bread type meeting. Prospecting, explain the business, meaning you're anywhere, meaning, say, hey, you want to make coffee real quick? Maybe it's not going to be an official come to the office, if that makes sense, right? You meet them out and about. Hey, meet me at McDonald's real quick. Or can I swing by your job? Or blah, blah. You're meeting them anywhere you are to get some activity going. Number 7, at night, you don't have appointments. Rather than go home, watch your show, watch the game, right? You go stop by a teammate's house, right? Follow up, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you can give them some life again. Maybe you can, does that make sense? But the idea is, I'm going to always get in front of people, but those are level priorities. But you notice that most of us are usually doing 6, 7, 10, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Right? If you find yourself doing these all the time, you need to go back up. See, this is, you're building a business. I just left Legoland, so I can still see in Legoland in my mind. So if you're building Legos and you're a builder, like we're building a business, right? You're on your knees putting Lego blocks together, yeah? If it's really working, should you still be on your knees putting Legos together 3 years from now? No. You should eventually be standing up, maybe on a ladder, maybe a higher ladder, start stretching the ladder. Are you catching me? Yeah. So that's how you want to see it. So now there are districts popping below you that you don't know. There should be districts, which I know there are, that are coming up here that Jason and Jackie are like, oh, nice to meet you. And some say, oh, I remember you. Because, does that make sense? People are getting promoted that they have nothing to do with anymore. And then Yvonne are in the picture, not necessarily live, but every time I came here, they were here. Meaning there are ladders. Because there are leaders. Yeah. You get that? So that's the idea is, and the number 8, you're calling the prospects that you're going out there prospecting. Number 9, 3-footing. Anybody that's 3 feet from you, you ask them and you try to prospect them. And number 10, cold calling. But isn't it funny that most of us spending time doing number 10? See, number 10 is no different than putting picket fences outside of Walmart saying not hiring. But that doesn't pay Walmart. You get it? Not hiring doesn't pay Walmart. It just starts off what they have a shot at doing. They could hire 1,000 cashiers, 1,000 managers. They don't make money doing that. They make money having new people come in. And that's the same thing with us, if that makes sense. So the whole prospecting, yes, but eventually you need to move on from that there are people doing that below you. Now you're really with the new people getting in their market, getting them promoted and all that good stuff, if that makes sense. Because that's where the fire happens. Cold calls are like Haitian dollars and warm calls are like American dollars. Do I need to go further? Does that make sense? So you need a lot more warm, hot market calls, a lot more warm market activity in your new teammates markets. You can't be getting directs for the rest of your life. Not to say you should not. What I'm saying is that can't be how you're earning all your income. You should be making, like, if you see a theory of decreasing responsibility, in the beginning, 100% of your income comes from you. You may be responsible for 10, 20,000 of cash in your business. It's okay. The problem is that 10, 20,000 cannot be 100% of your income. Right. Even though you bring 10, 20,000, then now you're 70% of your income. Then you're 60% of your income. Then you're 90, then you're 70, you're 50%. Until eventually you're 1% of your income, although you're doing that, but it's blown up because the blocks are, you see the picture? Yeah. Right? Good. So as we're continuing here, this is the activity deal. If I'm doing 5 books, 1 person will show up. 4 people show up, that'll give me 1 teammate. See, there's a math deal. So I don't have to, you have to wonder why is it not working? Primerica either doesn't work or you don't work. Let's put that to bed. Either Primerica doesn't work or you don't work. We have to figure out which one doesn't work. And if it's Primerica, get out. Right? If it's Primerica that doesn't work, get out. But it's hard to think Primerica doesn't work when we saw the first half of this meeting. So a lot of people, right? You're seeing some people win. You're like, he's doing this. She can do that. She's doing this. But I can see how there's a lot of that, right? I know when you saw Eric couldn't read, you guys were like, I can make it, right? So 50 books, right? So if you're doing 50 books, 10 show, 4 people show up, 10 teammates, 10 teammates show up. In the worst case, some people 10 recruits, get them 50 clients. But in the worst case, you're getting 4 to 6 teammates from that. I mean, 4 to 6 clients, and that's paying you 1 to 3 grand. If you're below RVP, but above RVP, might be way more. So now there's a formula. Why am I not making money? Because I'm not doing at least this. That's bare bone minimum. 5 wide, 10 down the new leg, or you're delusional. Okay, so we know what's up. So now think about this. If I'm doing at least in 4 weeks, 200 books minimum, you can do way more than that with your team. That's not just you, right? You're doing 200 books, 40 interviews, 10 recruits, 4 to 6, 1 to 3 income. If you're not doing that, you need to speak to somebody. But if I've been doing 200 books a month for the last 3 months, 6 months. It's not happening. You need to talk to somebody. Something you're doing is wrong. I remember leaving myself voicemails to hear how I sounded on the phone. Olivier and Brutus, you should call me at 944-822. Oh shoot, that's what I sound like. You may not know how bad you sound. Listen, leave yourself a voicemail. Hey man, you should consider the training tomorrow. Are you available? What? Who's going to any party with that invitation? I'm saying, listen, we all record yourself doing interviews. That may be why 10 recruits doesn't get a 4 to 6 or 40 interviews doesn't get a 10 recruits. You suck at the interview, right? The person's looking at you, you're like, you like this? You know, like, do you love what you do? I mean, listen, man, you want to sign up? No. I mean, you can keep your job. It's safer, you know. 4 to 6 clients, right? You're scared to death because you don't know your lines at the KTA and you don't know what to ask. Jahmena was talking about I couldn't close the door. You know, I told a client one time, ooh, this is expensive. Maybe let's get the smaller plan. I told a client that, right? I'm telling you, right? I got kicked under the table, right? So now let's see this, right? So you're making your calls, you're doing your books, that's attendance, recruiting, licensing, promotion, cash. All these things are gonna grow, but the calls and the books are eventually gonna go down. Why? Because now you're in the hot market. So you went from making 50 calls to book 10, 15. Now you're making 20 calls, you're booking 20, 30. Because one book says, oh, I bring my cousin and my brother, right? I'll bring my brother. Hey, he's not doing nothing at home either. That's what you said, right? He's unemployed for 6 years, right? Like since he lost the soccer game, he hasn't done anything. That's what he told me, right? Right? But that's the thing. You call one, you book 2, or they show up. You book 1, they bring. Oh, it's okay if I bring my nephew, right? So you're in the hot market. So that's how eventually it will go down, but the numbers should blow up. Are you catching me? Yeah. If you're redoing it the right way, it shouldn't take you more than 3 weeks. It shouldn't take you more than 3 weeks to do that. So at the end of July, some of y'all should have 50 in attendance. It should be another headache to now, okay, shoot, it's time for, we thought we just expanded offices. We're gonna have to have another 5 offices. Why? Because you have 50 in attendance in your division. You have 50 in attendance in regional. You have a 200 attendance in RVP. So now, boom again, boom again, boom. That's why literally it should be from box. I'm like, you guys, I thought last time I came here was a new office. How can it be a new office from the new office, right? Because of growth. It should be from box to boxes to boxes. There should be, I bet you there's somewhere where stuff was still in boxes, still not out from the old office, but because it's expansion constantly. That's what it should be like. You catching me? Right? So Now, look at the daily activity being this way. So don't look at your RVP, look at you. Maybe you're an RVP, or maybe you're looking at yourself as a district. In your mind, here's a table, and here should be the people around you every day, seeing what you're doing. Because if you're at your best, somebody better be watching you at your best, because this is about a duplication deal, right? But if you're good, people better be watching you, because you want them to do what you're doing and better. But so you have to be very intentional about that. I was talking to a teammate of mine earlier this week. I was telling him, you have to understand, having people show up at the office, which we're going to touch on, right? It's not a skill thing. It's, do you think it's important? Period. Because see, people that struggle with attendance never struggle with a check. But some people that struggle with a check will have attendance but never have a check. So it has nothing to do with a skill. It's an awareness thing. It's just not that important to you. And it's fine. There are things that should be more important to us that's not that important. But it's not that you can't. It's just not that important. I got to eat. I got to pay my bills. So I got to produce 1 million in production. I got to produce 100,000 in production. But having people there, if they don't want to do it, what do you want me to do? I don't want to beg people. Don't beg them. Get more. And by the way, convincing, maybe somebody, raise your hand if you're like 60 days in the business. Good, right? Well, when you're 6 months about in business, see, you might get to the point where you're feeling like maybe you're, convincing people. If you feel like you have to convince people, it's a laziness problem. In what sense? You don't have enough people. It's not laziness. I mean, it's not convincing. It's finding the people that want to, and then that's what drafting is. You draft the interested people. You recruit a bunch, and the interested ones stay, and then they keep moving. But my point is, the person on the table that's learning, taking notes, as you as the leader, so here you are, the table expands, somebody leaves your table and opens their own table, meaning wherever they're making calls, or whether it's an office. But eventually somebody leaves that table, and then eventually guess what it turns into? It turns into where now those tables are now an office, because this was you. So now you have 20 people showing up during the day, you're ready for a new office? Does that make sense? If you have 20, 30 people showing up during the day, you have 100 showing up at night. Okay, so eventually that's how it happens. So now watch this, you have 3 people that book in a day, 3 people that's 7 days a week, that's 210 books, that's 10, 15 recruits a week, that's 50 recruits a month, you're doing SVP numbers, because it's 50 grand, right? But then as you eventually get this rocking faster, now you start doing 100, you start doing, so what's 100? And I'm gonna show you guys a number in a minute. And I know for some people the math might throw you off, but just pay attention for a second. 2 people that do over 10 in attendance, in recruiting, in production, will give your team 30. I know 2 people that do 10 equals 20, but it's been studied all around Primerica. When you have 2 different legs doing 10, in attendance, in recruiting, and in production, that'll give you 30. If you have 3, that'll give you 50. If you have 6, 100. And I'm gonna go on and show you in a minute. My point is 350, 350, 350, 150. How does that come? That comes from the table, because you already are teaching the formula by what you're doing every day. So there's no thinking, it's just doing. See, at a job, you don't think, you do. You don't feel, you do. Who feels like showing up to a job every day? Nobody, but you just do it. Who thinks about should I or should I not show up every day? You don't, you just do it. In Primerica, because you're the owner, you tend to think and feel before you show up. So, but if you think and feel when you're at the office to do the work, that's why you have to work like an employee until you are an owner, right? So that's the whole thought process here. So you are NSD numbers, and eventually as you continue this, Bill and Renda told me, Olivier, there's a math, it's a math thing in Primerica. 67 by 67 through first, you're making 250 in income. 125 by 125, you're making 500,000 in income. 250 by 250, you're making $1 million in income. 500 by 500, you're a circle champion making a 2 million. Right? Right now, Willie's doing $1 million through first. That's going to pay him $4 million. Isn't that crazy? It's a numbers thing. It's a math thing. There's nothing to figure out. So once you know that, we work for those numbers, right? So we talked about this. Now, the way you glue it all together are the 6 golden rules. See, after you meet somebody today, right, you're going to tell them, okay, so when do we meet next? And they'll probably tell you, oh, I'll see you next Saturday. Oh, you guys do on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday. Oh, I'll see you Tuesday. No. We need to set the orientation 24 to 48 hours after that, right? Unless they told you they're going out of town. Right after this, we need to meet 24 to 48 hours. right? Because what you learn is not gonna stick long enough. So you need to meet them and clear whatever they're seeing. Number two, call them later on that day and every day thereafter. You wanna be the loudest voice in their head. Your new teammate, it should be your business partner, right? If they're not interested, start documenting your calls, whatever. The thing is, that's why you need more people. So you don't even realize you're not begging or whatever. Does that make sense?
Right.
At least get the orientation, get a list and make a copy. That's your database. You want to eventually get out of where you're at with those people. Does that make sense? So eventually you get in their market, get a list and make a copy. When you're sitting at the orientation, send at least 2 interviews and 2 KTAs. The thing is, when it comes to the orientation, we'll talk about the business, we'll this, we'll that, and then get time to make the calls. I don't know if you're like me, I used to get shook. It's like, you're scared, they're scared. You don't want to call, they don't want you to call. But if you don't call, they're probably leaving with the fear and not wanting to come back.
Right. Yep.
But if you book that first person, oh my God, here's my cousin, my sister, my best friend. Okay, well, another one. This is my other phone. You mind when I get home, can I send you more of the numbers? Because you overcame the fear. You need to break the ice. Number 5, meet one-on-one in group. In my humble opinion, that's the most underrated rule. See, imagine Jahmena and I raising our 2 daughters who never see us. Imagine the amount of values that you have from your parents just because you see them all the time. There are things that if I knew your parents, I would see, like when you see Eric, there are little things he does and you're like, oh, that's Ed, true or false? Yeah. Okay, probably Jason is more obviously Yvonne for me, I don't know. Yeah. But it's like you're watching them, you can see some of the things that, yo, you do this, that, it's like, man, okay, I can see because they were around their parents. Well, you as the leader, how are they gonna do anything like you if they're never around you? They're not bad. Think about the amount of hours you've logged in. Let's say you're 6 months in the business, 2 trainings a week, 4 hours each, right? That's, let's say 12 weeks. 12 times 4, you get the idea. That's the amount of hours you have in business. They have 4 minutes with you. They're not stupid. They just need to be around. Primerica, let's be real. It's a new way of thinking. Like Jahmena was saying, the old you will not help you get to the next level. The reason why you guys need to sell out to events like TBLS or like today is because the version of you today, you're like an iPhone 1 getting emojis from an iPhone 14. You know what you see? Loud exclamation. This person laughed at your message. But the person that has an iPhone 10, 13, whatever, sees fireworks. It's a different message. So the thing is, the version you are, it's like a Camry 1996 and a Camry 2021. It's the same Camry. But you almost bragging about your Camry. I was bragging to Jason, but no, my Camry's not like all Camrys, bro. Mine has the speedometer and the windshield. And I'm watching Jason, you know, he's a red up leader, you know. He's like, yeah, bro, that's a nice car, but we can get my wife's Tesla though, you know. I'm over here hyping up my Camry, you know. But my Camry is not a 96 Camry. I don't mean to be mean if you have a 96 Camry, but there were some busted cars. But that car got better. I was a busted leader, but that version of Olivier got better because you're in the environment. Are you getting me? So most of our teammates, that's why you got to work hard at them being there. And there are things they'll hear from somebody else that makes what you told them 1,000,000 times sound better. They'll learn recruiting 10 at TBLS, not from you. Why? I don't know. But that's why you want to have them around. I don't know why, right? Like, yo, I didn't know how to recruit 100 people. We've done it for the last X amount of months. But okay, that's what an environment is. Like kids that learn from their grandparents, that's what it is. Okay, number 6, treat everybody like a direct. And the problem is too often we say things like, when do I let my new teammates try? Home. When do I let them practice? Home. Not in the game. The NBA Finals is not when we're trying Kaminga with the Warriors. Yeah. Right? Jordan Poole, if you were starting during the season, we're trying you against the Lakers, bro. Does that make sense? The bench guy is not trying the finals versus friends. It's Messi all the way. But he's tired. Messi all the way. Okay, so that's the idea. You wanna, the responsibility of a new teammate success should be in the hands of someone who can handle it. And that's how you have the best copy of the person you're working with. And as we wind up, I was explaining that earlier. If there is recruiting production, 2 out of 10 gives you 30, 3 out of 10, 50, 5 out of 10, 75, 6 out of 10, 100, 15 out of 10, 250, 30 out of 10, 500, 60 out of 10, 1,000. So I need 60 people doing 10 recruits a month, independent from each other, for me to be at 1,000. Now I have the formula. If you break down how many recruits you guys got 130. So if you broke it apart, you'd see 9 to 10 people DDR. About that. I'm not a mathematician. It's just a formula. How do you know that? It's a formula. It's not like I'm picking up numbers. I just showed you. You should know too, right? The other thing I found out is going away from our business, at least. I don't know how it works everywhere. I found out that going away. This is why attendance, let me promote you all event for y'all. Ready? 25 in attendance gives you an average of 100 in cash. Every extra 25 I found out gives you a solid built 100,000 in income. So the highest we've reached at our event or away game is 139 attendance. So if you do 25 times 5 is 125. So it will be between 125 and 150, 500,000 income. Andrea's at 300,000, right? If you times her is 25, every 25 you'd see 300,000 is 300 is 1.2 million in income. It's a mathematical formula. So the only thing I can tell you guys as I wrap up, right, is this. In Primerica, looking back, again, like I said, I didn't know what I did not know. But the one thing I knew was this. This company is going somewhere. Today, they have more people making over 100,000 a year than any other company. They have the competitors that we have investing in us. Banks that you're keeping your money in have millions with us. Some people tell me I want to check it out before I get started. Where you're saving your money has already checked us out. They're giving you 0.5% and making millions through us. The state government you think you'd rather trust is investing in us. Alaska, Alabama, blah, blah, blah. So more six-figure income earners, and those companies are investing in us. The only thing left is you investing time and money in you and your business. See, guys, again, just don't take for granted where you're at, but at the same time, be specific about what it is you want to accomplish. Your goals and dreams before Primerica, your goals and dreams, which will upgrade over time. But those goals and dreams that you have, do you see them happening where you're at right now? If it's yes, keep rocking it. Meaning, who do you know doing what you do has the life you want to have one day? I didn't know anybody has a great accountant that had a great life. They may make money, but they didn't have a great life. Doctors, lawyers. But when I came in Primerica, what I realized was that there are certain people that had not done the business for years and were making money. Let me give you an idea. I do not know, and I'm not kidding, I do not know how to do New Gen Life Act. I do not know how to. Last year, we did 3,900 in personal production. We did an increase, so that's 1,500. Okay, 1,400 came from whatever. My point to you is this. There's a phase where we were in the field just doing this. Does that make sense? Meaning you're the best photocopy. New recruit success should be to have somebody to handle it. But in your mind, I'm beginning with the end in mind. And one day you want to get 100% of your income coming from nothing from you. Because your income cannot 100% come from your efforts. Because one day your efforts will be needed in other parts of your family, of your life. Your health might require it. You're this, you're that. But if your income can come in, whether that happens or not, you are a free man or woman. And that's what Primerica does. Guys, thank you so much. We love y'all and we appreciate it.